The aging space station's metal joints groaned in the cold vacuum of space. Dr. Lee Jinwoo rubbed his tired eyes, his attention fixed on the strange patterns dancing across his monitor. The signal had appeared 3 days ago, and he hadn't slept since. "Dr. Lee, I got the new data from the Deep Space Array," called out Dr. Kim Mayung, floating through the doorway with a tablet in hand. Her usually neat black hair floated around her face in the zero gravity. Jinwoo nodded, not taking his eyes off the screen. "The pattern keeps repeating. Every 6 hours, like clockwork. The International Space Station Beta, humanity's furthest outpost from Earth, had picked up the signal by accident. They had been studying gravitational waves from a distant pulsar when the strange transmission cut through their instruments like a knife through butter." Naeyoung pushed herself across the module, grabbing a handrail to stop beside Jinwoo's workstation. "The quantum analysis is complete. This isn't random noise. It's a language." Jinwoo finally looked up. "Alien. Has to be. The complexity is off the charts. Look at these harmonic patterns." Naeyoung's fingers flew across her tablet, sending the data to Jinwoo's screen. "It's using quantum entanglement as a carrier wave. We didn't even know that was possible." The space station's lights dimmed momentarily as another power surge hit their systems. Ever since the signal appeared, their equipment had been acting strangely. Jinwoo pulled up the new data, his eyes widening as he saw the patterns emerge. "This is incredible," he whispered. "The signal isn't just carrying information, it's carrying quantum states. Entire libraries of data compressed into." A loud alarm cut through the air. Red warning lights began flashing throughout the module. Naeyoung quickly pulled up the station's diagnostic screen. "Power surge in the main quantum computer. It's trying to process something." She frantically typed commands, trying to prevent a system crash. Jinwoo watched in amazement as new data began flooding his screen. The alien signal was interfacing directly with their computer systems, forcing them to decode its message. Numbers and symbols cascaded across the display, automatically translating into human-readable text. "War Arning," the message began. "Threat APPROHing. Multiple galaxies consumed. Time remaining. 847. Steeler CY Series." Naeyoung gasped. "Jinwoo, this is real. We're not alone, and something terrible is coming." The next 12 hours were a blur of activity. They verified the data again and again, triple-checking their calculations. Emergency calls were made to Earth. Within a day, they were presenting their findings to the Galactic Council, a gathering of 15 advanced alien species that humanity hadn't even known existed until that moment. The council chamber was a massive holographic space, with representatives appearing as shimmering projections around a circular table. Jinwoo and Naeyoung stood in the center, feeling small among these advanced beings. "Impossible," declared the Centaurian representative, its crystalline form glowing with disdain. "No force exists capable of consuming entire galaxies." "The math is solid," Naeyoung insisted, projecting their data for all to see. "The quantum signatures and the message prove it. Your species barely understands quantum mechanics," sneered another alien, this one appearing as a shifting cloud of plasma. "You're misinterpreting the data." Jinwoo stepped forward. "With all due respect, we've verified these findings. Something is coming, and we need to prepare." The council erupted in dismissive chatter. The head of the council, a towering being of pure energy, raised its appendage for silence. "Humans," it spoke, its words translating directly into their minds. "Your concern is noted, but misplaced. This council has maintained peace in this galaxy for 10,000 years. If such a threat existed, we would know of it." As Jinwoo and Naeyoung were escorted from the chamber, they shared a worried look. The aliens' arrogance would doom them all if they couldn't find a way to make them listen. Back on the space station, they continued their work. The signal kept coming, bringing more detailed warnings. Star charts showing the threat's path. Descriptions of whole civilizations wiped from existence. They'll have to believe us eventually, Mei Young said, staring out at the stars. When it's close enough to see. Jinwoo nodded grimly. Let's hope it's not too late by then. We need to prepare, with or without their help. The space station creaked again, as if agreeing with their determination. Humanity was new to the galactic stage, but they wouldn't go down without a fight. The impossible was coming, and they needed to be ready. Park Sung-min stared at the equations covering his office walls, numbers and symbols glowing softly in the dim light. Empty coffee cups littered his desk, evidence of another sleepless night. His latest calculations challenged everything the alien species believed about faster-than-light travel. Professor Choi Mi-rae watched from the doorway, her expression a mix of concern and curiosity. You should rest, Sung-min. You've been at this for days. Look at this, Professor, he said, pointing to a complex formula. The aliens assume quantum spacetime is rigid, but what if it's more like fabric? We can fold it instead of trying to break through it. Mi-rae stepped closer, her eyes scanning the equations. Despite her initial skepticism, she had to admit the math was elegant. While alien scientists insisted that faster-than-light travel had a universal speed limit of 50 times light speed, Sung-min's calculations suggested something revolutionary. Your quantum folding theory, she said slowly, it suggests we could achieve speeds of 500 times light speed or more. Exactly. Sung-min grabbed a marker, adding another equation to his wall. The aliens are thinking like engineers, trying to force their way through spacetime. We need to think like tailors. Fold the fabric, create shortcuts. The concept was radical. Instead of pushing against the universal speed limit, Sung-min proposed temporarily folding spacetime like paper, creating shortcuts through the cosmos. His equations showed it was possible, but the alien scientific community had dismissed his work without even reviewing it. They called it primitive human imagination. Sung-min said bitterly, remembering the alien representative's response. Said we barely understand basic quantum mechanics, let alone space-time manipulation. Mi-rae placed a hand on his shoulder. They said the same thing about human computers, remember? Now they're studying our quantum processing designs. A holographic display flickered to life, showing the latest simulation results. Virtual ships moved through folded spacetime, achieving impossible speeds without breaking any fundamental laws of physics. The math worked perfectly in theory, but building such a device would require technology beyond anything humanity had ever created. We need to prove it, Sung-min declared, pulling up more data. The threat Dr. Lee and Dr. Kim discovered. It's moving faster than anything we've seen. If we can't achieve these speeds, we'll never be able to stop it in time. Mi-rae nodded, her scientific skepticism warring with the undeniable elegance of the mathematics before her. The Alien Council won't fund this research. They're too set in their ways. Then we'll do it ourselves. Sung-min pulled up project plans he'd been developing in secret. I've been in contact with private companies, organizations that understand what's at stake. We can build a prototype. It's dangerous, Mi-rae warned. If the calculations are off by even a fraction, more dangerous than waiting for that thing to reach our galaxy. Sung-min countered. The aliens think we're stupid primitives who got lucky with our technology. But look at human history. Every major breakthrough came from someone challenging impossible limits. The holographic display shifted, showing the projected path of the approaching threat. At current speeds, humanity would have less than a century to prepare. With quantum folding technology, they could reach it in months, study it, perhaps even find a way to stop it. I'll help you, Mi-rae decided. But we do this carefully, methodically. One mistake could discredit the entire theory. Sung-min grinned, his exhaustion momentarily forgotten. We'll need to build a quantum computer 10 times more powerful than anything we have now. The energy requirements alone. One step at a time, Mi-rae reminded him. She began organizing the equations, creating a systematic research plan. First, we prove the math beyond any doubt. Then we worry about building it. Outside their office, the sun rose over Seoul's skyline, its light reflecting off the sleek buildings of the city's quantum research district. Somewhere up there, alien observers watched humanity's progress with dismissive amusement, certain that these primitive beings would never surpass their technological achievements. They had no idea what was coming, both the threat that could end them all and the impossible solution that one tired human mathematician had discovered on a wall full of equations. The quantum folding drive wasn't just theoretical anymore. It was humanity's best hope for survival, whether the aliens believed in it or not. Deep beneath the Korean peninsula, Chief Engineer Lee Do-hyun walked through the massive underground facility, his footsteps echoing off steel walls. The quantum folding drive prototype towered before him, a masterpiece of human engineering that alien observers claimed would never work. "Power readings are stable," announced his assistant, checking the latest diagnostics. The machine hummed with energy, its quantum core glowing with an otherworldly blue light. Years of secret development had led to this moment. "The alien delegation is here," another engineer reported, looking nervous. Do-hyun nodded, straightening his uniform. "Let them sneer. They'd cease soon enough." The alien observers entered the test chamber, their environmental suits glinting under the harsh lighting. "More wasteful human optimism," one muttered, its translator making no attempt to hide the contempt in its voice. "The prototype ship is ready," Do-hyun announced, ignoring their disdain. The impossible dream sat in its launch cradle, sleek and beautiful, humanity's hope made real. "We begin final testing today." The lead alien observer, a tall being with crystalline features, stepped forward. "Your species' persistence is admirable, if misguided. The mathematical limitations of faster-than-light travel are well established." Do-hyun led them to the control room, where dozens of engineers monitored complex systems. The quantum folding drive's core principles, developed by Park Sung-min, had taken 3 years to translate into working technology. Every component had been built from scratch, pushing the boundaries of human manufacturing. "Beginning power-up sequence," Do-hyun announced. The room hummed with tension as systems came online. Warning lights flashed as energy levels climbed higher than anything previously attempted on Earth. "Dangerous," one alien observer commented. "Your containment fields cannot possibly." The being fell silent as the quantum core stabilized, its readings showing perfect containment. Do-hyun allowed himself a small smile. The aliens had never considered using quantum entanglement to reinforce containment fields, another impossible human innovation. Launching in 3, 2, 1. The impossible dream lifted smoothly from its cradle, its engines barely making a sound. In orbit above Earth, tracking stations prepared to monitor its first faster-than-light jump. "Quantum fold initiating," Do-hyun announced. On the main screen, space itself seemed to ripple around the ship. The aliens watched in stunned silence as their instruments recorded something they had deemed impossible. The ship vanished. For several tense moments, nothing happened. Then the tracking station at Alpha Centauri reported contact. The impossible dream had covered 4 light-years in seconds. "Current velocity." Do-hyun paused for effect. 503 times light speed. The alien observers erupted in shocked discussion, their translators struggling to keep up. Their own ships could barely achieve 50 times light speed, and here was this primitive human vessel, casually breaking all known limits. "How?" the lead observer demanded. "This violates fundamental laws of physics." "No," Do-hyun corrected, "it violates your understanding of those laws. We didn't break through space-time. We folded it." The impossible dream continued its test flight, achieving even higher speeds as its systems were pushed to their limits. Each successful jump sent waves of excitement through the human crew and waves of disbelief through the alien observers. "Remarkable," one alien finally admitted, its earlier contempt replaced with something close to awe. "Your species continues to surprise us." Do-hyun thought of the threat approaching their galaxy, the reason they'd pushed so hard to develop this technology. "We're full of surprises, And we're just getting started. The ship returned to Earth orbit, its systems showing perfect functionality. As the alien observers huddled together, discussing the implications of what they'd witnessed, Du Hyun sent a message to Park Sung-min. It worked. Your impossible math just changed everything. The quantum folding drive would give humanity a fighting chance against the approaching threat. But more than that, it had proven something important. Sometimes the impossible just needed a fresh perspective. The aliens had searched for ways to break through the universe's limits, while humans had simply learned to fold them instead. Du Hyun looked at the impossible dream through the observation window, its hull still glowing faintly from its historic journey. They'd need to build more ships, larger ones, but the hard part was done. They'd shown it was possible. The alien observers were already sending urgent messages to their superiors. Soon, the entire galaxy would know that humanity had achieved the impossible. But Du Hyun was already thinking about the next challenge, the next impossible barrier to break. After all, they had a galaxy to save and humans were just getting warmed up. Seoul Space Command buzzed with activity as alien diplomats rushed through its corridors. Admiral Kang Min-ho watched from his office as another delegation arrived, their ships joining the growing fleet in Earth orbit. The same species that had once mocked humanity now came begging for help. The Centaurians are requesting immediate weapons deployment, his aide reported. Their outer colonies detected entity signatures. Min-ho nodded, studying the holographic display showing the entity's advance. Direct them to Dr. Yoon's laboratory. She's leading the hybrid weapons program. In the vast underground research facility, Dr. Yoon Ha-won worked alongside alien engineers, combining their advanced technology with human quantum theories. The latest prototype dominated the testing chamber, a massive quantum cannon that incorporated crystalline alien power cores. The power output is stable, Ha-won announced, reviewing the test data. The alien crystals amplify our quantum disruption field by a factor of 10. Her alien colleagues watched in amazement as the weapon demonstrated its capabilities, creating ripples in quantum spacetime that could tear the entities apart. What they had deemed impossible was now their best hope for survival. We need more, the Centaurian chief engineer admitted. Our entire defense grid must be upgraded with this technology. Min-ho authorized the mass production of hybrid weapons. Earth's factories worked around the clock, guided by both human and alien expertise. The Seoul Space Command became the heart of galactic resistance, coordinating the defense of thousands of worlds. The entities will reach the outer colonies in 3 months, Min-ho informed the War Council. Alien representatives from 15 species sat around the table, their former arrogance replaced by grim determination. Our ships are being retrofitted with quantum drives, a plasma-based alien reported. The human design is elegant. We were wrong to dismiss it. Ha-won presented the latest weapons data. The hybrid cannons are exceeding expectations. By combining our quantum disruption fields with alien power sources, we've achieved destruction rates that seemed impossible weeks ago. The alliance grew stronger as more alien civilizations recognized the value of human innovation. Earth's quantum technology spread throughout the galaxy, preparing for the coming battle. We've detected entity scouts at the edge of defended space, Min-ho announced one morning. They're testing our defenses. The first skirmish proved the effectiveness of their preparations. A quantum-equipped patrol ship encountered a small entity, engaging it with the new hybrid weapons. The entity shattered, its quantum structure disrupted beyond repair. News of the victory spread hope throughout the alliance. Humanity had not only found a way to fight the entities, they have found a way to win. We underestimated your species, the Alien Council leader admitted to Min-ho. Your ability to think beyond established limits, to see possibilities where we saw only barriers, it may save us all. Min-ho thought of humanity's long history of overcoming impossible odds. Sometimes the best solutions come from those who don't know something can't be done. The Seoul Space Command continued to grow, its quantum-powered ships ready to defend the galaxy. The entities were coming, but they would face a united alliance armed with humanity's impossible achievements. As Minho watched another fleet of hybrid-equipped ships launch into orbit, he smiled. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Never underestimate humans when they're told something is impossible. Had one's team continued developing even more powerful weapons, pushing the boundaries of what quantum technology could achieve, the impossible had become routine, and the galaxy was stronger for it. The entities would arrive soon, but they would find something they had never encountered before. A galaxy united by human determination, armed with impossible weapons, and ready to fight back. The massive fleet assembled near the Orion Arm, thousands of ships from 15 different species waiting in formation. Captain Kim Ta-hyun stood on the bridge of the flagship Quantum Dawn, watching as the entities emerged from deep space. Their crystalline forms distorted the starlight, each one large enough to devour entire planets. All ships, battle positions, Ta-hyun ordered. The fleet moved according to his unconventional battle plan, one the alien commanders had initially called illogical. Enemy contact in 5 minutes, his tactical officer reported. The entities are attempting to establish quantum resonance. In her research lab aboard the Dawn, Dr. Oh Sun-hee worked frantically to decode the latest data. Her team had discovered patterns in the entities' quantum signatures that suggested an artificial origin. Captain, Sun-hee called over the comm. The entities, they're not natural. They're weapons created in forbidden space beyond our galaxy. Ta-hyun processed this information as the first entity attacked. Its energy beam lashed out, but the fleet's quantum shields held firm. Execute pattern Omega, he commanded. The fleet split into smaller groups, each targeting a different point on the nearest entity's structure. It was a fighting style the aliens had deemed chaotic and inefficient. But chaos was exactly what they needed. The quantum disruption weapons fired in an irregular pattern, preventing the entities from adapting their defenses. Where coordinated alien attacks had failed, the unpredictable human tactics succeeded. Their quantum structure is destabilizing, Sun-hee reported excitedly. The random attack patterns are preventing them from maintaining coherence. The first entity shattered, its fragments dissolving into normal space. The others attacked more aggressively, but Ta-hyun's fleet was ready. All ships, execute quantum fold jumps on my mark. His plan was risky, using the quantum drive technology to appear randomly around the entities, striking from impossible angles. The space battle looked like a dance of light and energy. Human-led ships blinked in and out of existence, their hybrid weapons tearing holes in the entity's perfect crystalline forms. Captain, Sun-hee's voice was urgent. We've decoded more of their origin signal. These entities were created to harvest energy for something in forbidden space, something that's still waiting out there. Ta-hyun nodded grimly. One problem at a time, Doctor. Focus on finding more weaknesses we can exploit. The battle raged for hours. Ships were lost, but the entities were falling. Human tactical innovations, combined with alien technology and quantum science, proved devastating against the ancient threats. The entities are attempting to retreat, Tactical reported. Their quantum signatures are weakening. Don't let them escape, Ta-hyun ordered. If they report back to whatever created them. The fleet pressed its advantage. One by one, the entities were destroyed. Their impossible forms reduced to quantum particles scattered across space. In the aftermath, Sun-hee's research team worked to understand the entity's true nature. The forbidden space they came from held more secrets, more potential threats. But humanity had proven itself ready to face the impossible. Alien commanders who had doubted Ta-hyun's tactics now studied the battle recordings, learning from human unpredictability. The victory had changed everything, not just saving the galaxy, but proving that sometimes the most illogical approach was the most effective. We should explore forbidden space, Sun-hee suggested during the debriefing. Find out what else is waiting out there. Ta-hyun looked at the star map, at the unknown regions beyond their galaxy. Humanity had already achieved the impossible once. Perhaps it was time to do it again. The battle had shown that the entities weren't invincible. More importantly, it had shown that the galaxy was stronger when it embraced new ideas, even ones that seemed impossible at first. As the fleet began its journey home, Ta-Hyun knew this was just the beginning. There would be more threats, more impossible challenges, but humans would face them the same way they always had, by doing what everyone else thought couldn't be done. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council looked different now. Where once alien representatives had sneered at humanity, they now listened intently as Chairperson Lee Soo-jin addressed the assembly. She was the first human to hold this position in the Council's 10,000-year history. The entity crisis taught us an important lesson, Soo-jin declared, her voice carrying through the vast space. Progress doesn't come from following established paths. It comes from daring to question them. The reforms she proposed were sweeping. The Council's research funding would prioritize innovative approaches, especially those that challenged conventional wisdom. Earth's quantum technology had already transformed galactic society, but it was just the beginning. When we said faster-than-light travel had limits, humans folded space instead, a crystalline alien observed. When we said the entities were invincible, humans found their weakness. Perhaps it's time we learned from their example. Earth had become a center of galactic innovation. Alien scientists flocked to human universities, eager to learn not just the technology, but the thinking behind it. The phrase, "it can't be done," was no longer a declaration of limits. It was an invitation to prove otherwise. The Forbidden Space Expedition leaves next month, Soo-jin announced. The combined fleet would explore the region where the entities originated, led by human commanders known for their unconventional tactics. The council chambers, once a symbol of rigid tradition, now buzzed with new ideas. Species that had existed for millions of years found themselves learning from Earth's example, embracing the creative chaos that humans brought to every challenge. Humanity's greatest strength, Soo-jin often said, is not knowing when to quit. We see impossible odds as a personal challenge. New technologies emerged from human-alien collaboration. The quantum folding drive evolved into tools for terraforming dead worlds. Hybrid weapons became energy sources. Each impossible achievement led to another, as the galaxy learned to think beyond established limits. Earth's legacy spread throughout the stars. Training academies taught human problem-solving methods alongside advanced alien science. Young species were encouraged to question everything, to seek new solutions rather than accept old limitations. We stand at the beginning of a new era, Soo-jin told the council, not because we defeated the entities, but because we proved that the impossible is just a temporary barrier. The galaxy had changed. Species that once competed now collaborated, sharing knowledge and challenging each other to achieve more. Earth became known as the cradle of impossible achievements, where the most outrageous ideas were given serious consideration. Humanity's influence went beyond technology. Their determination, their refusal to accept limitations, inspired cultural changes throughout galactic society. The impossible became possible, then routine, then a stepping stone to even greater achievements. The memory of the entity crisis faded, but its lesson remained. In the face of extinction, humanity hadn't just survived. They had revolutionized how an entire galaxy thought about progress. As Soo-jin concluded another council session, she smiled at how far they'd come. The chamber that once echoed with dismissive sneers now rang with excited discussions of new possibilities. The galaxy had learned that sometimes the most valuable question wasn't, "Can it be done?" but rather, "How can we make it happen?" Earth's legacy would continue to grow, challenging new limitations, finding new impossibilities to overcome. The phrase, "it can't be done," had become obsolete in a galaxy that had learned to think like humans. The impossible was just waiting to be achieved. End.